In today's lesson, you are going to need your My MIDI page, the student EEI workbook. On the My MIDI page, you will be looking at this presentation, and also you will be accessing the EEI student edition. Continuing on from the lessons we've done the other day, you're going to be looking at California grassland ecosystems, and you'll be looking at a list of plants and animal traits and trying to identify native and non-native species. So just to recap, non-native species live in an area where they did not live before, and an invasive species is a species introduced to an area beyond normal range where they spread rapidly and they outcompete others. So here's what you have to do in today's lesson. Turn to page 13 in your workbook, and there is a reading called Traits of Invasive Species. I'd like you to read this quietly. You may put your headphones on to read it quietly, and then you're going to discuss it with your partner or with the people in your group. And when you discuss it, I want you to be able to answer 3 questions. How would invasive species affect an ecosystem like the grasslands? Would these effects be short-term or long-term? And what kind of variables do you think might increase the chances of an invasive species crowding out native species in an ecosystem? Remember, we talked about variables the other day. So by this we mean a variable may be fire, it may be farming practices, it may be climate change. Okay, so now you've read, you've discussed, you're probably wondering, okay, what do we do with our answers? You can jot some information down in your workbook, and we'll discuss it when I get back to class next time. Now turn to page 5 and 7 in your workbook and look at the data for plot number 2. This was part of the activity we did the other day. And think about the question, are there more native or non-native plants there, and why? And just on the side of your notebook, on your workbook rather, I'd like you to just now go to page 17 to 19, and you're going to look at non-native plants and grasslands. The charts in part 1 list the non-native and non-native invasive plants that were identified in plot 2 on the survey of your grasslands. Now you should work on questions 1 through 6. You may work collaboratively, but the important thing is to get them done and get them done right. Once you've finished that, I'd like you to go to part 2, and you're going to be working on part 2 independently, that is by yourself. What you don't have completed in class, please complete at home. Thank you.
Made with Doodlecast Pro.